Welcome back, Vault fam. We are out here today with my man,
Dom Marconi.
And today we got a special unboxing for you. And if you don't know who Dom is the owner, operator, CEO, designer, everything behind Aztek. So if you like Aztek products, you like this guy. By default, like you have to. We got the Aztek Siren right here. Don't call it a mermaid, those are siren legs. Siren and mermaids kind of hand in hand, but sirens are much more dangerous, just like this deck. I'm gonna actually let you do the honors. You crack open this bad boy and show me the goods.
Okay, let's open it up.
I'm liking what I'm seeing. Woo-wee. Where's the name Siren come from?
Siren is a Greek mythological creature that entices sailors with their voice.
So this one is calling to all you sailors out there. Buy me!
Right.
And this thing, I mean, it looks a little wide. How wide is this?
6 inches.
I don't believe you. I got a tape measure here just in case, because there's no freaking way. 6 inches, that's a skateboard. Indeed, he is right. We have a 6-inch deck available on the market. So is this the widest deck on the market?
By far.
By far, a whole ½ inch wider. The box cutter just dropped and we're blown away, 5.5, that's wide. Shortly after, we have the Aztek Siren Deck, 6 inches wide. How long?
23 inches.
23. And just talk a little bit about the specs.
Well, the head tube is similar to the fountain deck. It's the only aftermarket fully extruded head tube, which means it's shot out through a mold in one continuous piece and then cut into individual head tubes. Remove the material between the head tube. It actually helps prevent cracks from forming, which makes it a little bit stronger.
And plus it removes a little bit of weight too. So
yeah,
you gotta
it
love
does.
that. With a big deck, 6 by 23.
Yeah, it's actually a lot lighter than any comparable deck.
How light is it?
It's 4 pounds, 2 ounces. That's including all the spacers, axle, deck inserts, brake hardware, and all that.
Not to sound incredulous of you, but we are putting you to the test right now. 4 pounds, 2.7 ounces. And for a big deck with all the hardware, that's phenomenal. I mean, who's designing this? They must be a rocket scientist, right?
I spend a lot of time working on these designs to try to make them perfect.
You definitely revolutionized the back ends of all decks.
Right.
The Fountain had some of the best deck end inserts we've ever seen.
Yep.
Is there anything different on the Siren?
The difference between this and the Fountain deck is that we rounded off the top of the dropouts too, which actually just helps save a little weight because, you know, nobody's ever really standing back past the axle. And it looks beautiful at the same time too.
Definitely.
To save more weight, we also fluted the bottom of the deck, and that helps lighten up more parts of the deck that aren't so necessary. Flex fender fits up to 125 millimeter wheels. We make it from a low gauge steel so that it's actually a lot stiffer. It almost works as like a fender in most cases.
Yeah, definitely. Someone at the shop chopped theirs in half, and I was like, where'd you get this fender from? He's like, no, that's the brake. It's stiff. If you do use your brake, you can still use it as a brake, but a lot of flex fenders, they're too flexy and you're touching your wheel too much. The Aztek flex fender is really stiff, and I gotta say it's a plus. Some actual fenders will fit this. If you have any questions, check out the description, we'll let you know. Of course, if you're mixing up brands and manufacturing, you might have to do some slight modification to get to work. If you don't know your way around a drill, a file, anything like that, just stick with the brake, you'll be happy.
We make the brake fully adjustable, so in this position, set to fit 125 millimeter wheels, roughly 17 inches of foot space, which is the most on any deck. But if you are running 110s, you can move the brake back. It's totally adjustable, which will give you an extra ½ inch or so of foot space.
What about the head tube angle?
The head tube angle is 83.
83, not too steep, not too shallow, so that's a pretty solid head tube angle. I think 83 is right where we need to be. With the current setup, you're running the 8mm axle and 24mm wide bearing spacers, right? Right on. So some brands, they do 24mm bearings and 26mm wide urethane, but if you are running any of the Radix or the 12 standard, right now it's not gonna be compatible, but should we expect something in the future?
Yeah, all of our decks are made future-proof so that if you wanted to switch to a different wheel size, we're gonna have conversion kits that allow you to ride any sort of wheel width or bearing size, Ethic 12 standard or the Eagle Radix wheels. Those kits will allow you to ride those without any modifications to the deck.
Yeah, this thing's gonna be definitely future-proof. So if right now you are not sure you wanna try out the 12 standard and you're worried about what deck you should buy, get this guy now, stick with your current wheels, the 110, the 120s, the 125s. Heck, you could put 100s on it, but I do not recommend that. And then eventually, if you want to try out the Radix or you want to try out that 12 standard, you already have a deck that's ready to roll on that. So that's really key right there, saving some money, especially with how expensive a custom scooter is. If you have to buy a new deck every time you want to switch your wheel, not gonna cut it. So great design right here by my boy Dom. So right now we have the matte black colorway with the beautiful bevel on the front showing off that raw aluminum. I like the contrast on it. Definitely gonna look good with some other parts that have some contrast on them. You're gonna see whatever fork you're running from the front. The design of this thing is really sweet, man. I love how you're saving weight everywhere and keeping the strength as well. From the little fluting on the bottom end, this guy's got it done. And it's not only coming in black, we also got a raw one, right?
Yeah, it's coming in the same finish as the Logan Fuller signature fountain deck.
Like the dirty raw.
Yeah.
So we know you guys, if you're riding this, you're out there getting dirty in the streets, get that dirty raw. You're gonna love it. And I mean, this thing's just crazy. Holding something this massive, it's really not that heavy.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna cop one. I think you sold me on it. I was on the fence before and I saw the 8mm axle, but hearing that it is future proof, I think you got me sold. I definitely want to try this guy out.
The only way we can convince people to ride wider decks is to keep the weight down, really.
There's a lot of decks out there that aren't even close to this big that weigh half a pound more. So this thing, if you're on the fence, you're like, man, I really want to get something large, 23 long, more than 5 inches wide, but I don't want to sacrifice having a ton of weight on it. This is your answer right here.
Yeah.
Normally when I'm curling these big decks, getting a little workout, I'm gonna have to carry 2 of these around just to get a little pump in.
Yeah.
There you have it, guys. Another successful unboxing. Glad we could have the man behind this entire product here from every step of the way. So it's really great to have you here, Dom. We appreciate it, man.
Yep.
And if you want to know more about Dom, what else goes into Aztek, all that fun stuff, go check out an interview between myself and Dom to find out a little bit more about him and just what it takes to be a beast. Don't miss it. See you next time.